Hi everyone, this is Lori from the Crafting Auntie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome all my new subscribers. Welcome those that have been with me for a while. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're enjoying these videos that I've been doing. And hopefully you'll stick around. Today I'm going to show you how I constructed the flip-flop journal that I did, which is in a steampunk theme. This particular one has signatures in it, and the one I want to do now is going to be the flip-flop. I'm not going to add, I don't think I'm going to add signatures in it. Maybe I'll add one or two, but I want to add more interactive things onto it. So my plan is to construct it just as I had done this one, less the signatures for now, and then I'll decide on that later. But instead of adding the signatures, my hope is to add some interactive items in here. So you can see the flip through of this on my channel. I will link it below. And I'm going to be using another kit from Polka Art Studios, and it's called Elven Fairyland. I'll show you just a few of the pages. I don't know how many of these pages I will be using, but they're absolutely gorgeous. So I have already printed these on 32-pound copy paper, and I have used my decal edge paper trimmer, and I have gone all the way around all the edges on these. So some of these may be a little smaller than my envelopes, so we're going to work through that and hoping to add pockets, but also some interactive elements. And I have learned from some of these interactive elements that I want to try from Carolyn Musing's YouTube. Vanessa does a lot of her videos for her kits, and she has some amazing videos. So I'm going to try some of her projects on this flip-flop. So these will probably be some of the papers I'll be covering it. Now they're smaller, but we're going to work through that because I'll probably add some tea-dye paper or some other kind of paper underneath to kind of make it, you know, at the top of the bottom, just so that we can make sure that everything is going to be covered. So this is my sample, less one of the small extra small envelope, which I used on that one, and I'm going to do on this one. So you're going to need two smaller envelopes, and it really doesn't matter what size they are, but these are more of a card size. So they are like 4 3/4 by 5 3/8. So two of those. And then these are just some regular white envelopes. You can use junk mail envelopes, but these happen to be about 9 1/4 by a little over 4, so maybe 4 1/8. You're going to need 3 of these larger ones and then 2 of the small ones. So I have my 3 envelopes, and one of these we are going to open up completely. Okay, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and carefully open this up. So you just kind of want to have it flat as you can on your mat, and then use an X-Acto knife like this. You could trim it as well, but then it will be a little bit off on size. So we got that size, and don't worry about the edge if it's a little bit jaggedy, it's okay. And let's do this side. Just take your time at it. Sometimes I get in a hurry and then mine doesn't come out too good, so I'm just going to take my time. Okay, so now we've got that open. All right. So we've got our 3 envelopes, 2 envelopes. So if we follow what I have here as a sample, we're going to glue our small envelope to our first completely closed envelope. So we're going to have this. I'm going to tuck this inside like so. Okay, so I tuck that in. And then we're going to take this envelope and decide. I think I want this one to go at the top this time. So I'm going to put this one here. And you want to make sure you leave a little bit of a gap here. So when you're going to glue this down, just make sure you don't butt it up exactly right on the line. So I'm just going to glue as I go along so I don't lose track of what I'm doing. So we'll just add some glue here, trying not to move it, and line it up. And then I can always go in here and add the glue to finish this up. So just like that. Okay, so we have our first envelope here and here. So if we look at our sample, so that's this. Now we're going to add the one we just opened up. So I'm going to take it and add it right here. And again, we are going to leave a little bit of a gap because this is going to end up needing to fold. Okay, so I'm just lining it up, and I'm just going to lift this up again and add some glue here, and then we'll turn it over and add the rest of the glue. So I just want to hold it in place. Turn it over and glue this down. And I'm using art glitter glue for this. I wouldn't recommend a glue stick. I don't usually use them, but sometimes. I wouldn't recommend a glue stick though because it will warp it. Okay, so then this is going to fold backwards. So now we've got the first part of our flip-flop. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add this one onto the end. Like so. Now if you wanted it open, you could open this up. I just didn't like the way it looked. Let's see. So I decided to leave it closed. So let me just show you on this one what we're doing. So on this last part here, so it's going to be opening up right there. You can see the opening there, and then it's actually solid on the other side. So now that I have this open, I'm going to glue it like this. And that will give me a nice solid surface here. And then we have our open pocket here. So a pocket here, this will be open, and then a pocket here, and then a pocket on the outside. Okay, so let me just add some glue right here. And you can decide how you want to put this together. Just think of it as a valley, hill, mountain, valley, mountain, valley. That's kind of what we're building here. And again, watch Beth on Beth's Boutique. And then this is going to fold like this. Okay. So now we've got it looking like this so far. All right, so let me glue this down the rest of the way. All right, and then the last one is the small envelope. And this one I want it to come down toward the bottom. And then this will open up and give us a pocket here as well. So let me flip this over and let's glue this down. And again, leave yourself a little bit of a gap. Let me get up here so you can see this a little bit better. So you want to get a little bit of a gap. And you don't have to put these at the top or the bottom. You could do them any way you want. Okay, so now we have this, and it comes up like this, and then it comes up like this. We have a pocket, 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 and pocket. And then these will be covered. You could turn them into a pocket by adding other things, and that's something I'm going to be doing, which will be a little bit different than the first one I made. So here is the construction. So now I'm going to give it some thought as to what I want to put here on the front, and then I'll be back. I'm also going to ink all around the whole entire flip-flop journal at this point. So I'm going to do some inking. I'm going to use the vintage photo for that, and then we'll probably be using some scorched timber down the road too. So I'm going to go ahead and do some inking, and then I'm going to think about what we're going to put on this front page. Okay, inking is done. I have inked all around it, both sides. So all the inking is done. And so I've given it some thought, and I want her on the front page, but I also want to create this as a pocket, and I want to create a tag to go inside, and I want to use this. So the first thing that I want to do is trim this down a little bit. So let's just do a couple of marks here. I'm trying to capture as much as I can of this image. So we'll cut it here and here, and then let's cut it here. And I am going to use my deco edge again. Get that. And let's do a little bit of trimming here. Just going to line this up. Be losing some of this on the side, but cannot be helped. I'm trying to make it even on both sides. And I think I may have cut off my bottom piece, so let's remark that. So this is going to go there. So let's cut right about here. And then the next thing I want to do is kind of reinforce this, so it'll be a little bit sturdier on the front of this as I create the pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto a sheet of this craft cardstock, and I'm just going to leave a tiny bit of a border. Not much, just a tiny bit. And then the piece that I want to use for the tag, I want to go ahead and glue this on here as well. Let's see, I think width-wise what I want to do is okay. Okay, so I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to glue everything down. I'm going to ink it first, and then we'll start to put it onto the front of this front envelope. Okay, I've got these glued on now, so I'm just using a piece of craft cardstock. See a little bit here that needs to get glued down. Let me add that. Okay. And so what I want to do is I want to recreate a pocket in this. So this area right here, I want to open up, and then I'll be able to stick a this tag inside. So I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife and just carefully open that up. I'm going to follow this line right about here. Just going to take my time, and if you could do this, just take your time and add the slit whatever size that you want. And then this is going to create a little pocket. I take it all the way down to here. So now we've got this little pocket. So this will open up just like that. Okay, so that is done. So now I want to use the decal edge trimmer again, and no, I don't. I want to use the regular paper trimmer for this. That way the decal edge is showing, because I have a tiny bit of a border. I just want a very, very tiny border around her, like that. And same with here, a very tiny border. Just so you could see just a little bit of the craft cardstock. Not a lot. Okay. And let's get this side, and then we'll get the other part of her. And then let's get the bottom part of her. Sorry, I know I kind of get myself off camera here a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is going to go on here, like that, and then this is going to tuck hopefully in here. Okay, I need to open this up just a little bit more. So I'll take my X-Acto knife again. Let's just take this down a little further. Just take it down to there. And I think I'll do the same thing on this side, just so it gives it enough room for this to go in. Okay, so now we've got the pocket, and then hopefully this just fits in like that, and this will go on the front. And I'll probably add something to the top of this, and I also don't want it to keep going down. So I want it to be about like this. So I'm going to add just a tad of glue right below, see if I can get this to lift up, right below where that card is going to be. So I'm going to add that now, and then that's going to stop how far down I want it to go. So I'm just going to do this bottom part. Okay. And now that will just go to that point. And then we only want to glue the sides. So we'll put glue on this side, leaving the top part. Nope, we're going to glue the top part too, and the side. So we'll glue here and across the top. I'm doing this, making this up as I go along. I kind of know what I have in my head. Now it's just putting it on paper. Okay, and then this will tuck in there and just go to that glue line that we just made. All right, so that's our front, but I want to do a little bit more because she is so gorgeous. I really want to highlight some of this greenery in here. And so I think the best way to do that is probably with some embossing powder. And I also want to ink. So I inked around the edges of these items with a scorched timber. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Just catching some of that craft cardstock. And also the back. Now this could be a nice little journaling spot if you're a journaler. I don't do much journaling. I would like to. I just am not disciplined enough. Okay, and I think we're going to do something else on this too. And let's just ink around this, highlight that a little bit more where our pocket is. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think what I want to do is use some clear embossing powder and go over some of these pieces. So let me gather that stuff around and also get an area prepped to do that. Okay, so I have some clear embossing powder. This is by Ranger. And I also have an embossing pen. So this is a Distress this is a Ranger. I think it's a Tim Holtz also. Yeah. And this is embossing pen. So what I want to do is highlight some of this greenery in here, all throughout here. And also I think I want to do the mushrooms over here and maybe this waterfall and the water. So I think the best way to do that is with this pen. So I'm going to just use this. I'll do a little bit of this on camera and then I will do the rest off so it doesn't take so long to do. And I have no real rhyme or reason what I'm highlighting here. I just want to bring out some of the greenery. And I don't want this to dry too quickly, so I'm going to have to make sure I don't wait too long. So let me just kind of go over everything again, and then we'll put the embossing powder on, and we'll get this embossed. So let's do that. I'll set this one aside for now. Okay. All right, I'm going to just fold this over. And I have my heat tool. Okay, let's see if you can see that. See some of that shininess. Yeah. So that's really going to bring that out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to do this on this front piece, and then I will also do it on the tag that's going to go inside. So let's just put this back in here so we can do the next round. Just lay her back down here, and I will continue adding the embossing to this greenery. I think it's really going to bring it out pretty good. So let me just finish this one with you on camera. Just want to get this to kind of come out and be noticed a little bit more. Let's go ahead and do this down here too. And how about here? Okay. Let's get our embossing powder on here. And let's heat it up. Then we'll see what this one looks like. And then I'll do the tag off camera. So it doesn't take too awful much time, but I want you to see how this comes out. I just love it when it starts to turn. Really makes a big difference. Brings out the color. She's so beautiful anyway that it just really adds to her. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, look at the difference. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up on this embossing on the tag, and I might do a few more things on here too, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have all the embossing done. So I've embossed the mushrooms on this, some of the leaves, and the water and waterfall. So I think that brings that out really well. And then I did finish up a little bit more embossing on her at the top corners. And so now this will fit in here, and I want to put a tab on here. So I've glued a piece of the paper that I had left over on this piece of craft cardstock. So I'm just going to fold this and cut out, punch a tab. So I'm using this punch. And we'll just, let's see, I think I want that here. Okay, so I've got this tab. I think that would look really cute here at the top. So let's see, I think I'll just tuck it. Do I want to tuck it right behind? I don't want to really cover the mushrooms. I think maybe what I'll do is just tuck it behind here. I think that will look good. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up using scorched timber. I like a little darker on this. It's got some of the darker colors in it, so I want to bring that out a little bit. So we'll do that, and then let me just glue it closed. You could actually just cut this in half, but since I already have this, I'm not going to. I'm just going to glue it closed, and then I'm going to glue it on the back. And which side do I want? Do I want this side, or do I want... No, I think I want this side because it goes with all the green. So let's just add glue here and add that to the top of our card like that. And I wanted to make sure it had some, I didn't want to stamp on it. I just wanted to kind of tie the digital to this. So adding that onto the craft cardstock finishes that off. Put that in here. And then I cut this out from another piece, and I thought it would be really pretty to add that onto here and have it peek over. So I'm going to go ahead and ink it up. I was contemplating whether I should do some embossing on it, but I didn't want to take away from her. So I think just inking this up will bring it out a little bit more. And I've also been working figuring out the next page because we still have more pages to do, and I would like to at least try to get a couple of them done. Okay, so I'm thinking of popping this up. And right here on the edge. So I have some of these pop-ups that I have here. These I get at Dollar Tree, and these are just square ones. Doesn't matter which ones you have. And a lot of times I will use just the double-sided tape from like Home Depot or something like that as well. Okay, so let's see. I want this to kind of stick out a little bit. So let's try and figure out where we want to put all these dots. Put one here. So I think on the inside part here, so let's do that. I'm just going to be generous because I want that to pop up nicely. And then, let's see where we are. Okay, so that kind of takes care of this end of it. And I want it to be out here. So kind of like that. So I think I'll do some right in here. And that should be enough. Hopefully. Let's see how that looks. Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in place. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to these just to make sure that they stay on as well. I don't want that to come off at some point, especially if it gets opened and closed a lot or gets handled a lot. I want to make sure it stays, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on each one of these. Just give it a little extra adhesion. And then let's line it up and press that down. I think I have a little, come on. I want one of these squares under here. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Let's just close this up. So that's how it'll look on the front. And it's not in the way. Oh, it looks like I have too many dots here. So let's just remove a couple. There we go. And we'll do something on the back. I'm not sure yet what that's going to be, but I may just add something else over that. But I love the way that looks. So that's the front. Now I've already worked on the next section, which is here. And so I've cut a piece of this coffee dyed doily paper that I get off of Etsy from Pink Willow Paper. And my plan is to put this on because these pieces are shorter. So I'm just, that way it'll give it a top and a bottom. So let's first of all ink this up. I want to add the inking. And from here on, I did all the vintage photo around the whole envelope, but from here on, I think I'm going to be using the scorched timber because I really think it just draws out these digitals. It makes them look a lot prettier. I'll go ahead and do this one as well. And I have decal edged this as well, so it's not a straight cut. Brings out the distressing also when you have a decal edge like this. So if you have a decal edge or trimmer, or you have a ruler, either one of those would work. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. And then I'll show you what I had planned for this one. And hopefully it's going to work okay. Now some of the things that I'm making right now that may have tuck spots or it may have pockets or things like that, I am not sure yet what's going in those. This kit is just journal pages, so I will probably be taking some of those and creating some tags, pieces of ephemera from them. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. Okay, so we've got that piece on. So what I had planned is this is going to go on here like this, and then I printed another one on cardstock. And I'm matching it up like so. And then this will flip out this way, and this will flip out that way. And then this is going to be a pocket, which is going to be kind of right here. But I wanted everything to match up. So I'm going to ink this first. And I really just kind of winged it on this. I really wasn't sure what I was doing, but I will tell you where I made some cuts. So this is just printed on cardstock. I've cut it the same size. So I just laid it on top of this piece, and then I figured out where I wanted to have the flip outs, and then I cut them from there. My original plan was to have one go this way, and then one go that way, and one go this way, but the way I ended up cutting it, it didn't work out that way, but actually I like this better. So when this is glued down, you'll open this up, and this will still match up, and I'll probably add maybe, no, it's probably too large for a tab, so probably just maybe put a tab, no, maybe put a tab down here at the bottom. That might be an idea. And then same here, I could put a tab up at the top. And then this will end up being a pocket. So let's glue this down first. So this is what I wanted to do, was more interactive in this. And again, I still may add signatures. I am not entirely sure yet how this is going to come out completely, but we will get there. All right, so I'm going to try and make this even at the top and the bottom with the border. And I love this doily paper. It goes really well with this too. So got that on there. Still have embossing powder. Okay, so the plan is to be gluing here, and then a little bit on the bottom here, the side here, and then this side. And that'll create the pocket and these flips. So the glue I'm going to put here. I'm going to run a little bead here and on both sides, and also this. Okay. Let's make sure we got this okay. And I'm lining it up. Trying to line it up so when it opens up, it matches up. That's my plan anyway. Okay, so let's see if I got it right. So this opens this way. We've got the top. This is going to be a pocket. And then this opens this way. I think I'll ink up right here, just to hide that little bit of white, and here. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe a tab down here, and let's just use this piece that I have left. Let's punch another one, and I think we'll probably just cut them in half. Let's see. It's a thick piece. So I'm kind of thinking, what if we just had a little tab here and one up there? I think I'm going to just cut these in half. We'll use the one, so I don't have to cut another piece. Kind of being thrifty here. Let's ink it up, and then let's see. And I'll ink the back. You could stamp something on the back if you wanted to. I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to leave them. Oops. Okay. So let's, do I want it on the front? I think I do. I like the way that looks. Okay, so let's glue this one on here. Line that up. make it even. That'll give us a tab to open that. Okay, and then this one, let's put at the, oh, we can actually do this one out the side because it's not going to run into anything. Yeah, let's do that. Get creative. That's what we're doing. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's close this up. And that's okay that the sticking out. I can actually stamp on that later if I choose to. This opens up. So we need to have something maybe to hold these down. So maybe it'll be a Velcro. Not sure. And then we have a pocket here. So this is a pocket. This is a flip. And you still can see the whole picture of the castle. So that was my plan on this one. A little more interactive. So we'll think about what we may want to, if we want to add a Velcro dot to these or what. So let's move on though, because I want to do at least one more page today with you. So I'm going to pick out what we should put on the next one. Okay, I've got it figured out. So this page, let me just unfold this. We still have several pages to go, so I'll probably do some off camera. But let's work on this page. So I thought what I'd do is add this doily paper right here, top and bottom. And then I printed this one here. I printed on acetate. And I want to put it here, and then I'm going to cut this out, and this is going to go over it. So that's my plan. I'll see if I can make that happen. So I think first of all, let's ink up these, and we'll get these down. I'm just going to do the one edge and the sides. So let's do that. Because the other one is going to be underneath the acetate. So let's glue these. It's just to give it a little bit of something else. I had re-inked it thinking that maybe that would be enough, but I wasn't real happy with it. So adding these pieces for the borders ties it all together with the page before as well. So let's get this one down. Okay. And then this, we're just going to kind of center it because this one's a little longer. So I'm just going to kind of center it and add some glue. So let's add some glue here. Just a little bead, not a lot. And then press that down. Make sure it's even. And then let's just twist it around. I think that would be the easiest. Make some room here. And then I'm going to add some glue here to the top. Just another little bead. Press that down. And then the other piece is going to be over the top, so you're not going to see this. And let's see, let's do this side first, and then we can do the bottom. I'm sorry, trying to get this to where you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Press that down good. And I left this back part white because it was showing, the horse was showing so much better. I tried it with a tea dye paper and I wasn't as happy with it that way, so I decided to leave that white so the horse would show better. So then what I want to do is take this piece, and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to run across right around the whole in perimeter of this inside part. So I'm just going to carefully do that. And just take your time if you're going to do something like this. And I'm just going to cut all the way around this inner oval. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. A little bit more. Couldn't remember where I actually started at. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to clean this edge up just a tiny bit here because I kind of messed it up a little bit. So just clean that up, and a little bit over here. Just smoothing it out a little bit so it doesn't have any rough edges. Let's just do that. Okay. All right. So here's the plan for this. And I think we're going to pop this up as well. So I want to make sure I get this kind of centered where I want it. I think it's going to be about like that. So I'll have a little bit of this border here from the acetate. Actually, I might just move this over and trim that off a little bit. So, yeah, I think that's better. Okay, I'm going to ink this up with Scorched Timber inside and out. This is just on regular copy paper. You could do it on cardstock if you wanted to, but I already had this done on copy paper. Okay, so we've got that. And I think we're going to just glue this down. But I think I may want to do a pocket here. So I'm going to do the sides. I'm not going to do the top. I'll do the sides and the bottom. So around here. And then this side. And let's see how we're looking. Get this relined up. Just like that. Okay. So we could slip something in there. And I may change my mind, but for now, I'm going to leave it. Okay, so let's get back in camera here so you can see. So here is the acetate, and I do have this as a pocket. So I may come up with something else. I have this as well. So I mean, if you did a tag, you could put this in there and still have the same picture here, but I'm not sure yet what I want to do. So I will leave it for right now. Here is what we've got so far. So this will fold in, this folds like this, and then this folds like this. So here's what we've got so far. We've done our front, and we've created a pocket. We've also added these flowers and popped it up, so give it some dimension. And then on this one we have a flip out here, flip out here. I'm going to be thinking about what I'm going to secure these down so that they don't flop all the time. And inside here is a pocket. So we've got a pocket there. Let me just stick something in there so you can see it. So there's pocket. So we'll anchor these down, and then we have this one also set up as a pocket, and it's got the acetate. And I'm going to come up with something, probably a tag of something else that I can pop in there. And then when it's out, you've got this beautiful, well, either way you're going to have the horse picture. So maybe it needs to be something that's kind of plain. We'll think about that. Okay, so we've got these two to do in the other side. I'm going to call this a video for right now. I don't want it to be too awful long for everyone to hang out with. So I will come back with part 2 of this, and we will continue for this interactive flip-flop journal. So you guys have a great day. God bless you all, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.